My name is Cote de Pablo.
And my name is Michael Weatherly.
And we're playing with identities in this episode of Off Duty.
Off Duty, we're actually going to rewatch one of our faves.
Undercovers. Oh, yeah.
It's the beginning of TIVA.
It is.
Well, actually not the beginning, but it was actually the episode that solidified a lot of things.
It explored and solidified.
It explored.
It explodified.
What?
Do you know what a portmanteau is?
No.
TIVA. When you combine two words, Tony, Ziva, TIVA.
Oh.
Portmanteau.
Right.
See, listen and watch Off Duty and learn. Welcome to Off Duty, an NCIS Rewatch podcast. Today on the show, Season 3, Episode 8, Undercovers. Tony and Ziva go undercover and under the covers as assassins, a married couple who recently died but who apparently have a contract to execute. The NCIS gang figures it out and works it out.
What was going on today?
Well, let me walk you through a little bit for context, what was happening when this episode aired back in 2005.
You're like 1991.
November 8th. I remember it as if it was yesterday, yes.
November 8th? That's when it aired?
Yeah, 2005.
But it was November 8th.
My God, you were what, 13, 14?
Yeah, 12.
Okay, Ryan Howard of the Phillies and Houston Street of the Athletics won National League and American League Rookies of the Year.
Oh, God. What is that?
Probies of the Year. Okay, guess the sport. So, see, it writes itself.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
It's so good.
Okay, what sports teams would the Phillies and the Athletics be?
Basketball.
And what would the Athletics be called if you were to shorten that name?
The Athletic Ants.
Shorten it.
The Athletes.
They're, okay. Okay.
Well, by the way, were they basketball?
They're from Oakland. The Oakland
Owls.
A's. The Oakland A's.
The Oakland A's.
That's what
One
A's...
second. Can you just clarify what the sport is?
Guitar Hero was released on PlayStation 2. It's baseball, Cote de Pablo.
Baseball? How would I know that?
I don't understand. So here's the deal. Madonna earned her 36th top 10 single with ABBA sampled Hung Up, which I couldn't sing that to you, which tied her with Elvis Presley for the most top 10 singles. Now, do you know what a base hit is also called in baseball?
No.
A single. See how we tied it all together there? See what I did? So here we go, undercover, when it is discovered in this very, very good episode.
Yeah.
Directed by Aaron Lipstadt.
Well, by the way, it was only like a one-time director.
He was one and done, but then when I went to go do Bull, he did like, I don't know, how many, 10?
But
12?
why was he one and done? Because I thought that episode was really great.
His socks were too challenging.
Wasn't he wearing a kilt?
He was wearing a kilt. He dressed extravagantly.
And didn't he have like whiskers that kind of like had like gel at the end? And
he was fantastic.
I loved him.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe a member of the cast wasn't a big fan.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I'd like to explore that.
Well, we can explore that later. When it is discovered that two married assassins who were fatally wounded in a car crash were planning on an assassination at the United States Marine Corps birthday ball, Gibbs sends Ziva and Tony to pose as the married assassins in order to find out who the couple had planned to assassinate and who had hired them. Meanwhile, an attraction between the TIVA surfaces, between the Tony and the Ziva. And Gibbs and his team are surprised when they discover who has been spying on Tony and Ziva. Because there's another couple spying on them.
It's a couple on a couple.
So anyway, let's just jump down memory lane.
Who are you?
Ziva David. Mossad.
What can I do for you, Mr. D?
Nothing. Look who's calling the pot black.
Kettle. Pot is calling the kettle black.
Cuff yourself to him.
I'd rather you shoot me first. I think we've just been screwed in here, Tony.
The term is bolted.
The man is spick and spam.
The saying is spick and span. Spam is lunch meat.
This is not your fault, I know.
No, I was gonna say, your life would have had more meaning if you'd slept with me.
If you had anything else in your mind, perhaps I would have.
Really?
No. Well, I'd say it backfired. Large time.
It's big time.
Any memories on getting this script right out of the gate?
I thought it was going to be fun, but I had no idea how fun it was going to be.
Because
for me, it was like, I do remember it. And I wasn't at all I wasn't like, oh, how are we going to do this? I just felt like it was going to be very organic.
Yep.
And it was definitely going to be what I would hope these characters would turn into, you know?
There was
like
a
team,
lot
like a lot of
manifesting. Do you remember Don driving to the set and sort of coming down to talk to each of them? I have a memory of him coming in some Mercedes or something and driving onto the lot.
I remember him coming onto the lot, but this was after we shot the episode. And just kind of saying like how much he liked the episode.
Oh, okay. I have a weird memory of him sort of saying, this is important, don't screw it up.
Really?
But he always was doing that to me. He was like, there's a lot of pressure here. Feel it. And I did. Did you care about the plot? Did the plot line make sense to you? Was it confusing? Did you care about the plot?
You know, it's funny thing with a lot of the episodes, I felt like there was always this other plot that was always just you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really just focused on that. I focused on that particular relationship. And then everything else kind of, I can't say like fizzled because of course everything was a part of the show, but I really just focused and I put my eggs on that basket. Your basket.
She put her eggs on that basket. Anyone listening or watching at home. Because you put eggs on a basket. Let's not put all your eggs on one basket.
Okay. Are you done?
If you write it, it's not as good. I swear to God. You're like COVID-19. Nobody could have come up with it.
COVID-19? Really?
COVID-19.
God.
That's what I'm going to call you from now on.
Cody the Problem. That's
Okay.
what I believe you called me.
I did call
for
you
many
Cody
years.
the Problem.
Cody the Problem.
Cody the Problem. So here's the thing. We had a kissing scene.
Yes.
Let's just talk about the opening shot. Like, how do we come into the episode?
Okay, first of all, I remember
the foof.
Foofalish, yes. Okay, so I remember coming into this set in the morning and having to wear that like really kind of awesome green dress that Rachel Good, wardrobe designer.
God bless her.
Oh, God bless her. She's the best.
Not bad, I suppose.
Not bad, she says as she walks in from the outdoor patio past the fax machine.
She put together this fabulous ensemble for that opening scene,
Yes.
which was, by the way, designed so it could easily come off, right? Because we knew that dress was going to come off.
Over and over again.
Over and over again. And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, that was a closed set, right?
I believe it was a closed set. And I said to you,
And can you explain what a closed set is?
a closed set means anyone who's not extremely elemental to the process, fundamental, necessary, holding a boom, operating the camera, anyone else, you're out of there. Because there was going to be some saucy, spicy stuff. And I think they wanted us to, like pandas in captivity, the mating process is a very delicate one. You don't have to want to go to China for another little baby panda because they're expensive. So you want to let the pandas explore their habitat in a way that is not interfered with. Is that too much for me to go into the pandas?
No. I just remember this particular moment, I showing up to set, and then you were so worried about how you smelled. And by the way,
I have no memory of this.
I remember this because I remember it was very cute. I remember thinking, oh my God, he really cares. And you were like, oh, is this okay? Like, is this deodorant okay? And I was like, oh my God, I kind of loved you because we're going to be having these very intimate,
considerate, yeah.
very considerate. And I'm saying it like you were very considerate and you were like, did you like this deodorant? Like you were very sincere about this particular exploration of intimacy between these two characters.
I was like, it's Panda 1 or Panda 2.
And I remember thinking like, Michael, you always smell great. That's not a problem.
You know what I could really use right now?
Some deodorant.
I was thinking more along the lines of a back massage.
So, yeah. So the sequence of shots, you were out on the patio. Denozo's excited that there's like the TV. We're moving around. We're learning as the shot unfolds. The first thing we see is a dress dropping to the ground in the foof. And as we're coming through the very beginning of it, our audience is like, what the heck? Why are Tony and Ziva in a room dressed up, clearly in a hotel room, and she's got her eyes on the prize? What was the fruit that you ate
What
right
was
in the
the
beginning?
prize?
the bowl of fruit. But
I thought it was you.
I thought you were like Eve taking the apple and leading poor Adam.
In fact, you were asking me like, which fruit did you have right before the kissing scene? And you said, oh, was it an apple? And I was like, no, it was very much a grape.
Complimentary basket of fruit.
This is a perfect way to spend a weekend.
But it was our little Garden of Eden.
It was.
Shameless. So no shame, no fig leaves.
No. Do you remember choreographing that scene?
Yes, very, very much.
I don't.
Then
I kind of was like,
do you
whatever
remember
wanna do.
talking about the kiss?
No.
It's the first time we kissed. And you said, maybe you were lying, but you said that you had never kissed on camera.
Never.
So this is your first kiss on camera.
Yes.
And you asked me, is there anything I should know? And you were very guileless in your way, as you are. And I, meanwhile, I'm filled with bile and guile. I'm like a bilious. Hello? Look these words up at home, kids. So I was like, no, I think, we just go for it, stay locked in. And that first kiss, I think you ate half my face. I felt like I had to go to the emergency room.
I felt the same way. I felt eaten.
Well, it was before lunch. We were hungry. We were hungry.
It was actually breakfast.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it was
probably
breakfast.
True. It was breakfast hunger, which is more ravenous.
Yes.
In a way.
Yes.
So there was ravenous.
And I remember this. After that kiss, we had to sort of fall onto the bed, right? And then we had that other scene, which was basically the fake sex
Flipping
scene.
around.
I think they bought it.
I did.
Yeah, it's fairly obvious.
Right,
Yeah, we
the
had a
flipping
couple of
around.
those.
We had a couple of those, which were so funny. But you did something that was so kind, which is you grabbed my hair and you were holding on to my head and you lifted me ever so slightly so I was in a good angle so that I looked good. And I remember thinking like, what is he doing? Because I wasn't used to that. I was used to, like doing stuff in the theater or whatever, where you're not really thinking about those things like, wait, the angle and is this going to be flattering and am I going to see a double chin or whatever? And you were just very much aware of that, and without me knowing, you were protecting me. You were making sure that I was looking good.
It's funny. I think that probably got drilled into me by Jessica Alba on Dark Angel.
Yeah.
To make sure that, and even
By
when
her or by production?
No, and you know what? Even doing soap operas, because I remember working with Catherine Hickland on this soap opera called Loving. And Catherine, here's a funny thing about Catherine Hickland. She was married to a guy named Michael Knight. In real life, his name was Michael Knight. He was a soap opera actor. But before she married Michael Knight, who played Tad on All My Children, she was married to David Hasselhoff, who played Michael Knight on Knight Rider. Like
she was destined to be
that
with
in your
Michael Knight.
podcast pipe and smoke it, or have a gummy if you don't want the. But I'm just saying that's a little bit of a treat. And then we were in that bedroom set for quite a while. We had to do the flipping around and making sure that we were all, and doing the comedy bits and the thing.
Let's give it another 40 minutes, just to be realistic.
Realistic, huh? In that case, I prefer it on top.
But then, like Avery Drew or somebody came and said, we're using this special camera. It's in like an X-ray camera. And we can see if you're wearing underwear or anything. So you need to be nude. Do you remember this conversation?
I don't remember this.
Oh, yeah. And they were like, so we're going to close the set and everything. It'll just be you guys in there, but the camera can see if you're wearing any clothes. So you can't wear it. And we were like, what? You're making this.
What?
You mean, so no clothes? And it was like, no. So we did, and then there was a lot of like, and you were
Funny
like,
how I was like, well, okay,
no,
fine.
you're like, Shadi, we will do it. Let's not spend too much time talking. Let's just go.
But you know what the funny thing is? I remember.
I was like, how much are you seeing? Can you see outlines? How much definition?
Can you see it all? I remember after we shot that scene, there was somebody in that closed set who was a man who was very polite, by the way. He comes up to me and he was very shy. He was like, I enjoyed that scene. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I'm thinking.
Do you work here?
Wait, I'm thinking like, oh, what part did you like about the scene? And I'm addressing this like from a super actory point of view. And he goes, well, I mean, I have to say, you have a nice butt.
Well, God.
And I
Boy.
remember thinking like,
Somebody
but
call HR on this guy.
because I never took it that way. I just remember because he was so like shy about it. And then I think he proceeded to say, do you want to go out? Do you want to go out and have a coffee?
No.
And I was like, no, I don't think so. I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I don't think we're going to do that.
Yeah, but I think the intimacy of that scene just, and people
It
sort of watch it.
confuses people. Even professionals get confused.
I think, by the way, a real professional, but I think in that moment, the lines were slightly blurred. And I can laugh about it because in
Yes.
the context in which it came out, it was, I don't know, there was something about it that was cute and endearing, even if, later on you're like, oh yeah, no, that was
totally
not okay. But I was like,
Well, here's another thing about all of that. And really, you were still very new to the process and to the set and to
I was very new
workflow.
to the set, you know what I mean? To the idea of being on a set. But I wasn't new to acting and I wasn't new to being in a scene in the heat of the moment with people and very much anything goes. I was very much into that. Let's explore this. So for me, when somebody said, somebody came in and they're like, well, you've got to do this or how about we coordinate this? And you were very cool about, hey, let's find it and let's organically get there. And, I have to say, I really enjoyed working on that episode a lot. And it established a lot of that, what people called that unfulfilled sexual tension. And I'm not sure if it was ever unfulfilled because there is a question that comes up a lot when people talk about this episode. Did they or did they not do it?
even the FBI couple.
Yeah.
And so in a funny way, and this
And the
happens
McGee was so funny in that episode.
because I would argue the sexual tension happened, the very first meeting that
Sure.
Tony and Ziva had,
Sure.
which we've discussed, is where you come in and I'm picturing Kate in her schoolgirl outfit.
Right.
And are you fantasizing? Like, do you
Right.
always fantasize at your desk in the middle of the day? And so you are busting him on that. And then he goes and watches you swim. And then we had the pizza scene. And there was all of that early,
Flirt.
you know, when you're
Flirty.
slouching suggestively or whatever. And,
Sure.
and then you take off your hair thing and you know, there was a lot, but that flirting was posturing the beginning of the dance where there's no contact. We're just
Right,
getting
this is the first time
the
there's
lay of
contact.
but this is contact. But interestingly, and classic N-Kiss style. And
We're
if
supposed
if
to be pretending.
we're pretending. So if I
pretending.
weren't off duty, I wouldn't be able to talk about this. Hello? See how I worked it in?
Oh, yes. Off duty.
If you want to OD on off duty. So the fact that we were behind masks, but allowed us to express, but at the same time, Tony's like, are you really attracted to me or are you not attracted to me? I think that his insecurities are always much more on display. And then I loved the double of the snoring thing.
Oh my God. Ziva.
They think that it's Denozo snoring,
Yes.
or Jean-Claude or Pierre, whatever his name is. And then when we go in there, it's like Ziva
It's
snoring.
definitely Ziva.
And then when we come up, we see that Denozo's like, oh my God, she's just unbelievable. And then,
And then when you wake up, she's
No.
going, God, you snore.
no, but I go, Sophie. And you just jam a gun right in my neck. And you're like,
Sophie.
What?
Nothing. I thought I heard something.
because you're an assassin, Mossad killer. And Tony's like, I don't know this woman at all. She sleeps with a gun. Like, that's when we learn that Ziva sleeps with a gun.
Right.
Always.
Right.
Even when she's just at home watching the Flintstones.
Right.
She's got a bowl
Which,
of popcorn.
by the way, we revisit many years later. There's another scene just like that where she pulls out a gun
Correct.
from under the pillow.
From under the pill. But I think
Yeah.
that Ziva, we
It's a
established.
character thing.
And, you know, Denozo puts his gun in the box next to his goldfish bowl. He's kind of more, the gun is for when I'm at the gun place, but Ziva is a gun. Like, the gun is an extension of her killer kind of application.
I love the fact that after that, she's supposed to when she turns around, puts the gun seamlessly, all the while she's still sleeping.
Yeah.
Not fully snoring at this point, but then she kind of rubs her butt against
Yeah.
you.
She snuggles back
She
against him.
snuggles back and she
he's
just
like,
gets
I'm
real
not
close.
sleeping.
And then she goes, good night, hairy butt.
Oh.
You know, there's that.
Yeah.
But-
What did
but-
Denozo call you in that?
Uh, what did you call me?
Mm.
I mean, there was petit pois. Oh, no, sweet cheeks.
Sweet
cheeks.
It's quite a crowd here tonight. See anyone you know, Sweet Cheeks?
Not yet. But the night's just getting started, my little hairy butt.
Yeah. Sweet cheeks and my little hairy butt.
My little hairy butt.
Well, we clearly had seen each other seen each other in the buff then. What do you think that element of, because we're talking a little bit about the origins of chemistry, and what do you think that, because let's say we did this episode, and we've been talking about Lauren Holly and Mark Harmon and that chemistry, and which
was real sexy, by the way. There was a lot of play between them.
Uh-huh.
There was a lot of that complicity. Is that a word? That is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have one word for you, Jethro. Positano.
Come on. It was a week after I took a bullet.
Uh-huh.
But what do you think the audience, and do you feel like that was that moment where the audience was able to plug into the whole TIVA of it all, where they saw something more than the sum of its parts, whatever that alchemy is that we've talked about a little bit in the past, but it's worth revisiting.
So what's the question?
What do you think the audience saw in Undercovers that they hadn't seen up until that point? Was it the physical contact that broke some kind of barrier?
Yes, I think the physical contact was actually, I think it's the first time you see hunger in both of these characters.
And what about seeing them as a dynamic duo?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time you see them have a little bit of that, like, it's sort of like they are called to do this thing. And what I think Ziva takes home with her after this mission is, hey, I mean, he's a little bit of a fool, but he's a yummy fool. You know, like, I wouldn't mind going there again. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, I think there's a little bit of that. And I think it sort of establishes this like physical attraction. That's what I mean by, I think you find that these people start becoming slightly attracted to each other on a profound level.
Right, a deeper level. I think the hooks kind of go in.
Exactly. But I don't think it's intentional. I think what ends up happening is the mission happens, they go through the mission, they go, whoa, okay. And then something begins to happen between them.
Yes. So there's three couples really that I was thinking about that are in this episode.
Yes.
There's
Shepard and Gibbs.
Tony and Ziva, and the FBI couple.
Sure.
You, ever think about that? Maybe,
Forget it. We're here on a mission, period. You want something more than coffee? Call room service.
Who, by the way, are not a couple.
Who they're not a couple, but they have Tony
They have the
Ziva,
banter. They have the banter.
They're a kind of mirror image.
Exactly. Only they're not together and he's married.
And then there's the couple that dies in the teaser.
Who are together and she is pregnant.
Right, and she's pregnant. That's a pretty good bit. Do you remember when we were shooting the stuff in MTAC? Because we did that stuff live. So when they're in MTAC watching us in the hotel room, we're actually on the hotel room set, which was on another soundstage.
Right.
And they ran cables from that soundstage over to MTAC, so that. Were
they shooting them simultaneously?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, and so when I have my bathrobe open, exposing myself on camera, I'm doing that to Lauren and Mark and, who's back. And then
So that was not written?
It was.
Okay.
It was written, but, we played it for laughs. And I'm holding the champagne bottle.
Right.
Where other things might be. Very Austin Powers kind of
very much
silly humor.
Well, and also the Sean of it all, like him walking in like a butler. I mean, he's just so funny and so pissed that he has to be doing that instead of like enjoying the 5-star experience, which is so evident. Like his face is like he's so pissed that he has to be doing that role and that we are supposedly having fun.
It looks like I'm getting dressed up for you tonight.
I wanted to ask you, you've been in this business for how many years?
So I started in 1990 and we are talking now in 2024.
Oh.
34 years.
Okay. And in all of those 34 years, you must have done many kissing scenes.
I'm going to say 20 different people.
Have they ever been weird?
Yes.
Like uncomfortable, weird, like, oh God, I can't believe I just had to do that.
Yes, but they also, like, I was talking about Catherine Hickland, who was the Knight Rider, and I never finished that story, but I learned from her, we had to do a scene where she was like, look, I have to take my top off, but it's daytime, so obviously there's no nudity. So it's your job to keep your chest pressed against my chest when I'm not wearing anything so that nobody can see anything. So the whole love scene, I'm like kissing her, but all I'm thinking is like, just keep pressing against her, keep pressing. And then the other part of my body is like, don't press too hard. Don't. And then meanwhile, her husband's on set like, hi, it's me, Michael Knight. I'm like, Michael Knight is here so that was very confusing. My very first screen test, Guiding Light, I had a screen test that involved a kiss. And I do remember that I was so nervous that my upper lip was
started quivering,
wet.
Oh,
with fear. And Sherry Stringfield, I don't know but she was on ER and she very sweet to me. She would never remember this, but I had to do that. I didn't kiss the Kelly Ripa during our screen test, but sometimes screen tests involved kisses. Wow. But on the soap, there was Rebecca Gayheart. There was my first
Did you
marriage.
ever have a little crush on her?
Amelia to Rebecca Gayheart.
Yeah.
It was a crush that was so bad it gave me what's it called? Whatever that is. It gave me
I remember, by the way, you pulled up that name and I remember thinking, oh, I think you sent this in season 3. You were like,
Noxema
oh my God.
girl.
You were like, oh my God, I just thought she was the bee's knees.
Yep, still do.
It? Yeah.
It's still there. That's part of that time machine that, And then I was on Significant Others and there was, I don't know if I ever kissed Christina Applegate on when I did Jesse. Yeah, but there's just like time and time again. And I'm sure, Altoids, gum, brushing your teeth 5 times, I probably have gum damage from how nervous I was.
Just marbles.
And I do remember doing a kiss on NCIS, and then I came home and I was newly married. And Boyana never watched the show really, but I had directed the episode, and she was like, "Oh, I want to watch the one you directed." I was like, "Do we have to watch that together?" I don't, because it's very weird to have somebody, your wife, watch you kiss that, and she knows it just happened like a few weeks before. It's not like something from 1997.
Right.
Kissing, a very awkward thing, but it's also why actors are a specific breed. We're like, hi, I'm Michael. Oh, hi, I'm, Jennifer. Okay, I guess here's the bed. Oh, okay, so we'll just hop into bed.
It's the weirdest thing. I remember once dating somebody and I said, oh yeah, and I have to shoot something tomorrow. And they were like, oh, what is it about? And I said, it's like maybe like a kiss involved or something. And I remember they just came up to me and they half joking, half not. They're like, you better not open your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. And I was like, what? And then I got all in my head and I was like, wait, what? Wait, how do you kiss? I was like, what? How do you do this? And I remember then showing up to set and the actor was just fantastic. He was such a nice guy. He came up to me and maybe I was like pacing back and forth.
It was me.
No, it wasn't. And then he came up to me and he did something. He kind of released me from any kind of weirdness. And he just came up to me and he said, by the way, I don't fake kiss. And I was like, done. I was like, I can run with this. I can do it. And then it was just like full commitment.
Did he call you sweet cheeks?
No.
So let's get away from the kissing thing. This is making me uncomfortable. I've got some TIVA questions for you. The portmanteau. Ooh. When did you get an inkling the Tony Ziva relationship could be something special? I think we do know.
I think from the very beginning. I think actually from the test.
Do you think the writers, creators, and people figured it out as they were going? People would watch the episode?
I think the writers were kind of watching the thing that was taking place, which was a very organic journey.
They would even watch dailies.
Yeah, and they would just they started writing for us. And they could see that we were having fun. And so, and the banter was silly and fun and sexy and filled with innuendos. And I think they just kind of kept on doing that.
Right. And they had created, or a very sibling relationship had developed between Tony and Caitlin Todd.
Yes.
And that it was no threat to the memory of Kate in that sense.
None whatsoever.
Right. Which is kind of interesting. Cote, How well do you know your scene partner? Cody and Michael are going to take turns right now answering questions about each other to test how well they really know each other.
Okay.
Okay. What's my favorite ice cream flavor? Go.
Chocolate?
You got it.
Really?
Sure.
Oh, that's everyone's favorite.
What's the most dangerous animal Michael thinks he could beat in a bare knuckle fight? What's the most dangerous, like as animals go in danger, sort of tiers, what's the, like, I'm obviously not going to beat up a chimpanzee or a mountain gorilla, but
Honestly, I think a dog. I think that's as far as you'll take it.
You think I would beat up a dog?
Well, I don't think you would want to beat up a dog, but I think
I might.
Well, but if by any chance you were pushed,
What
given
kind
the
of dog are we talking
circumstances,
about? Like a Shih Tzu?
I don't
Like
know. No. A big dog.
You think I could take a big dog?
I think you could.
Well,
I think
maybe I might not take it.
Under the right circumstances, I think adrenaline would kick in, and I think you would beat the crap out of an animal that's not gonna, like a tiger. That's not gonna take you out.
In the episode that we talked about, I kept getting beat up and beat up and beat up, but boy, was I excited to kick that guy at the end, wasn't I?
You were.
I let
and then
loose.
You wanted a divorce.
Yeah, you bet I did. Cody, what do you think my last meal would be if I had to choose one?
Oh,
they were about to throw me up on the cross.
See, this is the thing that a lot of people don't know about Michael. Michael, you are a foodie like me. You love a really good meal. I don't think it's
a mystery.
No, but you enjoy food. You really do enjoy food. So this is a complex one for me because I would say something like a really beautiful steak with like a very creamy and cheesy saffron risotto. And a great like burrata and tomato salad would be like a really good way to go for you. But then, you could just throw like how about just a classic pizza, and I would buy that too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe burger and fries. Could be anything.
Yeah.
What do you?
I need it all. I need it all.
Beggars can't be choosers. What do you think my go-to karaoke song would be? We know what it is for this particular episode because I played it before we started.
Right. For
Undercover Angel. But what would my go-to karaoke song be?
I think it would be, I forgot his name, the guy that's married to that jazz artist that you love so much. An Elvis Costello song.
Watching the Detectives? No, we're off duty. Watching the off-duty detectives?
Yeah, I think it would be an Elvis Costello.
Yeah, it could be. Pump it up, down in the...
Or maybe like Old Police.
Yes, I do love my Sting.
I know you do. Michael, who does Cody think is the best actor, actress of all time?
Ooh. Wow. Gosh. I would say that there's got to be a Daniel Day-Lewis vote in there somewhere. That's got to be in the tops. But I feel like there's love and appreciation, although at this point, Meryl Streep is an overachiever. You just have to have her sit in a corner for a little while. Enough, Meryl. And maybe, so I guess it would be me. I guess she thought, I would say that you think I'm the best actor.
Well, the good thing about this question is that I couldn't even answer that. Because I think it's always shifting and changing. Like, I'm finishing The Crown, and I think there are such fantastic performances in that entire series.
Yeah.
That I've just been floored. Then I also saw Peaky Blinders. Yeah. And that was terrific. I mean, Helen McCrory, her performance is just epic. And then when you find out that she was fighting cancer and that subsequently she passed while she was shooting that show, what she does, what she gives you as an audience member is a piece of her soul. It's just so beautiful, so raw, so open, so brave, so out there, so sexy, so selfless. It's just so beautiful. So I can't answer that because I feel like I'm one of those perpetual fans, but I never become such a fan that I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I touch you. Like, I'm never that person. Right. I'm always just kind of watching the work, and I allow myself to be beautifully moved by it just because I'm inspired by people all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. This one's a good one. What's Cody's ideal vacation destination?
Ideal. That's a tough one. I would almost say like we could go Amalfi Coast and be close, like Italy. Going home isn't a vacation, but I do know there's a lot of recharge and a lot of love that happens from the vacation home in Chile. If I were to say, hey, Cody, here's a free ticket to Brazil, you can go to Bucios, I have a feeling that would happen. But anywhere your family is probably going to be your favorite vacation. I have no idea.
Yes.
Positano.
But with as a mom now, and certainly as I get older, which is really good because the alternative is certainly not good. A beach, quiet.
A beach.
Beach. And a place where I don't cook. I don't do anything. I love cooking, but there's a certain amount of, I need to feed my creatures, so there's a little bit of pressure there.
I like that.
And it's something that I really love. But if you tell me today, that's something that shifted too with the years. Yeah. Before it was like, give me a carry-on and I'm going to walk through the earth. You know what I mean?
A private beach too.
Yeah, I'm talking about a beach with not a lot of people, a hammock. I'm not the kind of person that likes ostentatious things either. I don't need like the big, the big massive hotels.
Or
I want the little
You're
cottage.
Not a yacht person.
I love boats. I do love, boats, sailboats and all that stuff.
Okay.
I don't need anything
Heads
massive.
up to anyone with a yacht.
Hey guys, I'm in need of one right now. But just, like something quiet, rustic, pretty, lots of nature around. Somebody though that gives me like a nice warm meal, like healthy but good. Clean waters.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
I like it.
I like it all. And then what's Cody's go-to coffee order?
Oh, well, I think it's English breakfast tea.
Oh, with?
A little bit of cocaine.
No.
Just on the side.
Wrong.
No, I meant stevia. No. Honey?
Yes. For the throat. And what's Cody's go-to karaoke song?
Okay.
You can have a couple because, by the way,
I would say it's going to be Queen. And it might be Bohemian Rhapsody, but I could go with Under Pressure if I get to do the Bowie part and you do the Freddie Mercury part. And we co-sing it.
That would be a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody is such a wonderful song, but it's also a very complicated song.
Yeah,
because it goes all over.
But you can do it because you've got that extraordinary voice.
Well, I mean, at some point I could do parts of it. Freddie Mercury is a tall order.
Big guy.
Yeah.
Before we go off into other areas, I just want to talk about the undercovers of it all.
Yes.
One more minute of undercovers, if I may.
Yes, please.
Season 3 is important, and really where we're kind of spending our time and focusing right now as we start to explore the beginning of our NCIS journey. I had already been there for a couple of years, but I have to say that this may be the episode where something, beginning of the season still felt a little wobbly, because it was like, wasn't sure what was happening.
What episode was this? Number 10? What was it?
I don't know.
But it was
9, 8.
9? Okay.
8.
What's a karmic number?
So my sense, and this is just a sort of sense memory thing, that things were starting to gel.
Yes.
In a new way. There had been the older version of the show, but suddenly it was like Jenny Shepard was there. They kept playing with her hair. Remember when they finally cut her?
Yeah.
And they kept kind of covering your widow's peak, and they're doing
they did it in one episode, and that was it. And it was ridiculous. They never went back to it.
They keep doing it. We'll talk about it.
No, they don't.
We'll talk about it. It's there as a thing, but we're coming together as like a greater than the sum of its parts, alchemical force of nature. And I think Gibbs' character has this new component with Jenny Shepard. And McGee's character is coming into his own in season 3 as the pivots are starting to take place. Yes. Abby is less kind of locked in that kind of like,
she's making a splash in
almost
the squad room.
Scary.
Yeah.
Like she
dungeon.
There was a little bit intimidating, scary, but you get this very nurturing Abby that I think was always there, but I think it really starts to blossom.
Yes.
And Ducky, instead of being kind of kooky, has now become like a sage, like he's this magical, wizened old Gandalf, right?
Yes.
And I really feel like the show maybe it's not this episode, but it's this era in the season, this part of the season where it's like, we're kind of off to the races. And if I'm not wrong, this is around the time that we had that photo shoot on a Saturday or Sunday where we all went to that motel.
Oh my God.
And we were all holding hands and everyone's touching each other in the photo. And so
yes,
I
but
just
also
wanted,
we
that's
had
why,
that wonderful, everyone dressed in black walking down the street.
and it was the same
moment.
day.
And it was the same day.
And
But that photo was
but we were a
epic.
connected cast. And the
Totally connected.
reason that we
complete
had
family.
to do those photos is because CBS, God bless them, did not really anticipate the show doing what it did, which is it started to go gangbusters. Wikipedia the numbers at home if you want, people. But the reruns had done something over the summer because people water coolered Sasha Alexander's character's death, Caitlin getting
Which
shot in
was
the head.
epic.
But now they were like, okay, well, that's a one-hit wonder. But now we're like starting to churn, like every episode's kind of like, we're churning out the hits.
I was in Costa Rica December. We were in our little winter break and we got a phone call. I think we all got a phone call. And the phone call was, the show's hit number 1.
Yeah, I know. It was a crazy, and
No, I think that was season 4.
it
though.
was season 4, but
Season
this is
4.
the time when we could
That whole thing
feel
gel. Yeah.
like if you're a safe cracker and you can hear the tumblers.
Yes.
And what a fantastic thing, because it wasn't, nobody cared. Entertainment Weekly didn't care. It was not something.
Well, because it wasn't like one of those shows.
It wasn't
was just
Gossip Girl or the OC.
No,
God
no,
bless Josh
no,
Schwartz
no.
and everybody. But we weren't trending.
we weren't the cool kids.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
But it was like being in a band or being on a ensemble TV show that gelled. And there's no other feeling like it. It doesn't last forever.
And
It's
that's the thing. I don't think I had an understanding of what that was. I just felt like, oh, great. This is it wasn't my first TV show, but it was certainly the first TV show that was ongoing, that was not going to be just,
canceled.
right. Because it was doing well. So I just thought, oh, this is how it's always going to be.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wow.
There's
so
a
I guess,
reason that in 2024, we're talking about the show, and we're going to continue talking about the show
Yeah.
next week. And it's one of the reasons that I know you and I wanted to do this podcast. It's because the show it's more than just some look back at like, oh, I did a show. And I mean, I did other shows, and frankly, I don't know if I'd be into,
you've done a lot of shows.
but
You've done a
I
whole
don't know if
bunch
I'd
of
be
shows.
very passionate. This takes, I fly out here to California to do this. Like it takes more than just like sitting on a Zoom call and talking.
But even when you were doing Bull, you would call me and you would say, oh, man, do you remember shooting that episode? I mean, it was
people
like, there
on
was
Bull
a little bit.
hated NCIS because all I did was talk about all the stories from NCIS. They're like, try getting on with the new show, Michael. Jump on board. These, Cote de Pablo, are some fan questions. Are you excited?
Fan questions
'Cause
are always
these-
good.
They're good. Hey guys, love the podcast. How about that?
Oh,
This
thanks.
is a question
thanks.
for Mark. It's Michael. That's all right. Mark will be here someday. Tony is clearly a romantic. Are you a romantic in real life? Well,
Oh, that's a good question. Are you?
so I am a romantic because I believe in awe and wonder. I believe that there are rainbows in every moment, and if you're open to the universe and to all the beautiful things without letting it overwhelm you, that surround you, I mean, I could cry right now. Either that, or it makes me maudlin and overly sentimental, or maybe just a nut job. But I call it romantic. I believe in love. I believe in love at first sight. I believe in star-crossed lovers. I believe in all of that epic, beautiful, painful wonder. And I don't like the demons of love.
No,
But
they're not fun.
without the demons,
And they
you don't have
linger.
the angels. And without
Sure.
love,
And the appreciation.
you don't have hate. You got to have the hate to have the love. I'm a romantic. Long answer. For Cote, hashtag TIVA, says this person. Cote, if you could have any acting role other than Ziva, any acting role. And so I guess we could go Shakespeare. We could go, but she will go Henry VIII on our. Okay.
No.
Any part. Give us the one. What's
Oh God. I mean, that's like saying, what's your favorite meal?
Medea?
I mean,
Would you be Medea?
Medea. Not so many. It's kind of
Give me your
like
top three, or just throw three out.
God. I know there's a lot of characters in Chekhov that I'd like to.
Chekhov.
Yeah. I'm a little too old right now to play Nina in The Seagull. But I remember studying that and thinking, oh God, that's such a great role. But I am getting closer and closer to playing Arkadna in The Seagull. And that would be a fun thing to do.
I'm more of an Ibsen guy.
Oh, I do love Ibsen.
Hedda Gabler.
Hedda Gabler is a great character.
Yeah.
In fact, I was studying that a couple of years ago with my teacher in New York.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Huh. You didn't expect that from me, did you?
No, I did not.
See what we do here on the pod?
But by the way, talk about being in love and not being able to do anything about it. Hedda Gabler.
I will not say any more about it. So,
Say no more.
Say no more.
In fact, that's a moment that's a don't speak.
And
Don't speak.
This is another one that dovetails.
Well, it's over Broadway. Come on now.
Diane Wiest.
Oh, one of my faves.
So, by the way, I was coming out of my trailer in New York City shooting an episode of Bull, and Diane Wiest walked by, coming out of a store, and she was walking by, and I was with True. I loved True so much on the set of Bull. But we come out, and we're people on the sidewalk. There's people from wardrobe and everything, and she's just very quietly, moving down the thing. And I went, oh my God, Diane Wiest.
You had a geek moment.
I did, and I just said, everybody, it's Diane Wiest, and we all burst into applause.
Because she's one of the
greatest. Because she is, don't speak.
Don't. So good.
No, don't. So can you tell us, this is for both of us, one thing that would surprise most people about us? Well, I think I did it with Hedda Gabler.
No, that I too am a hopeless romantic.
Huh?
But I am so hopeless that it could never be achieved. You know what I mean?
Like a hopeless romantic, it's almost because romantic is about hope. So
right.
A hopeless romantic is
I guess what I'm saying is
like a religious atheist, but it could be if your religion is there is nothing.
Me. Anyhow, but yeah, sometimes I've always felt like my understanding of something is so much bigger than the reality.
Yeah.
And so I'm slightly deflated. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like, oh, really?
I don't know if this would surprise most people, but I have spoken a little bit about it, and I don't mind sharing it, because what I discovered recently is that since I was about 15, I have been struggling with depression.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea that it had a title.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah. Well, this is what you discover when you stop working for a second. It was like,
I've been telling you to stop for a while.
I know.
As a friend, I've been saying,
I took a look in that well that I kept going to. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, is there a 15-year-old boy down there calling for help? So I went and visited him, and he's fine. But
is he?
I think he's great.
Oh,
that's why we're here with you, me and him, holding hands, making it whole. So I hope that's a pleasant surprise, but it certainly was a surprise to me. I didn't think that I had anything going on that was that problematic. Not that it isn't.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty intense thing to heal the child in you.
And I think that the only way you can do that is being honest about it.
And honesty is the best policy, but also at times very challenging because you have to face the...
Maybe I didn't have to share it on a podcast, though.
Why not?
It's
I think
fine.
we're going to share a lot of
we're
things.
We're here, and then we're not. So you try and give everything you can to the people while you can.
By the way, it's very funny that you talk about that, depression, because I was in Italy, and I remember there was a girl that came up to me, a fan, and she came up and she said, I'm here to say that I've suffered from depression for a very, very long time. And what I love about this show and what I love about your character is that she always gave me strength. When I watched her go through all of the things that she went through, I always knew that I had to find the inner strength within myself to get through whatever hardships. And it's funny because here we are just playing these characters, right? You don't know how they're going to affect people, if they're going to affect people. You think most of the time, hey, I'm going to make a couple of people laugh. Or, hey, this is going to be sexy. Or I hope these pair of pants look, you know what I mean? Or something. But every once in a while, you get hit with somebody else's reality that just kind of bursts your bubble.
And what they see in your performance, the strength and the determination and the grit and the survivor, What they see maybe in Gibbs is somebody who is getting past his pain, building a boat in the basement,
Who's
drinking
lost
too much.
everything. I mean, that character's pretty intense.
What you see in the Proby is a guy who's trying to get past these basic insecurities. And there's a lack of confidence that we want to see come. With Donoso, it's like, would he put that clown suit down for a second and
Right.
just connect and be real? Abby, is the dressing like this some kind of a device to cope with something that happened to her when she was a child? Ducky down in the basement with the dead bodies. And, I think on and on, like, each characterization is a manifestation or a working through of those things. And that's why the audience can project themselves into a story through the characters, not through the plot. Write that down. Gibbs rule of the day. Are you ready? Are you ready for Gibbs rule of the day?
Yes, please.
It's Gibbs rule number 1.
Oh, shoot. This should be like so important. What is
and
it?
it's very, very relatable to the topic of our podcast today, Undercovers.
What is it?
Never screw over your partner.
Ooh. Never date a coworker?
That's a different one.
That's a different one.
That's
That
never
was...
screw your partner. This is never screw over your partner. Never screw over your partner.
I mean, that should be like rule number 1 in all relationships.
Never screw
shouldn't
over
it?
your partner. Yeah. Easier said than done sometimes, I guess. I know that I have failed in my life in certain ways, and we're imperfect creatures. We can only try to be better in the future. I just want to remind everyone that you can watch episodes of NCIS on Paramount Plus, and new episodes are on CBS Network. Now, next week, we're going to have more giggles. By the way, this one went all over the place. We had laughter. We had tears.
Yes.
We had danger. We had kissing scenes.
Yes.
My goodness.
Fulfilled sexual tension, unfulfilled, a little bit of everything.
This podcast, I could listen to this one again. Hit rewind. I want to do it all over again.
Undercovers was, I think, one of my favorite episodes. And this has been a lot of fun to revisit this with you, to talk intimately about all of the intimate scenes that we had to share. The beginning of this TIVA, or was it the beginning? I think the beginning was...
The beginning was the
beginning was the beginning. But this was certainly what sent it into another realm, I think.
Yeah. And it was scented.
It was, wasn't it?
It had a good smell, this episode.
All right, so next week we're going to be talking about an episode called Frame Up, when a pair of legs belonging to an unidentified woman is discovered on a Marine base. The team is left stunned when the evidence points towards Tony as one of the responsible ones for the death. Michael, how could you do that? The team goes through a long list of people with grudges against Tony, and they attempt to clear his name only to discover that an unlikely person is truly responsible. It's season 3, episode 9, Frame Up. And you don't want to miss it.
Oh, you.